Hey kitties, what up, what up? Welcome to Primal Scream. This is your host, Nick Graystone. For the next hour, we're going to talk about fantasy, reality, and everything in between. Let's go. Hey.
Oh, kitties, what up, what up? Nick Graystone is back in the house. Primal Scream, live, going live. Hello.
Yeah, what happened?
Am I going on? Anyone hear me?
Keep talking.
Hello, hello, hello.
What happened?
That one work?
Yeah, grab that one.
All right.
Sorry. I don't know
It's all good.
It was working.
Is the mic on? There we go. Yes, it is. I don't know what happened here. That's all right. I could, take two at once. How's everyone doing tonight? Live at the Governor's Club. Primal Scream Episode 5. What's up? I have lots to talk about tonight. Hope everyone had a great week. As always, I just make the best of it, and just every day, day by day. And let's get to it. So, yeah, last week was pretty awesome. Saw a couple of shows, and there was some true crime stuff going on. And I got a cool little segment tonight that I'm going to talk about. Some interesting meet and greets that I've went to where they didn't go as planned. So last week, last Friday, was an impromptu trip to Brooklyn. I was originally supposed to go see Mr. Bungle. They were playing at Terminal 5. I didn't realize, though, that I had sold the tickets and I didn't have them anymore. So I couldn't go to the show. But my buddy Frank Ortiz, he told me that Gorilla Biscuits were playing at the Brooklyn Monarch and H2O. And you know what? I wanted to go see Gorilla Biscuits forever. I never saw them before. It's a band that I've always wanted to see. Old school New York hardcore. I actually had tickets to go see them once before, and it just didn't work out. What happened was 2 days before that, I had a vasectomy, and the doctor told me that I should be okay to go to the show. But what happened was, after the vasectomy, they never gave me medicine, any antibiotics. So 2 days later, my testicles were still inflamed to a point where it was like I was carrying a deadbolt lock off of my scrotal area. And it just didn't continue to get worse. And I was walking like I rode 100 miles on a horse. And I couldn't go see the show, and it sucked. But that's another story, but I already told you 3/4 of it, so eventually it worked out. The testes went back to normal, and yeah. So that everyone knows now that I have a vasectomy, so I'm available. So that's great. So anyway, I went to go see Gorilla Biscuits, and it was an awesome time. Siv, the lead singer, doesn't age. He looks like he did back in the day. And he still has an awesome stage presence. It was one of those hot, sticky nights, though. So there was like no air going on. And yeah, that was the only downside to it. I actually stopped drinking way before. And I was actually hungover at the show, which was good because I had another show the next day. But I was happy to scratch them off the list. And yeah, I'm always wanting to see bands that I haven't seen, but, going to concerts for, like I've been, almost 35 years of going to shows, I've basically seen everybody that I've wanted to at this point. There's a couple that I haven't, but they were one of them. So, like I said, I went to a show the next night, and this was a special one. I went to go see Rob Zombie and Alice Cooper at Jones Beach. And it's amazing that Alice Cooper is 75 years old and still doing what he's doing. It's unbelievable. He has a top-notch band. They're super tight. Like, there's no banter. They just, like, get to business. And they only really spoke at the end of their set. And, you know, they have phenomenal guitarists. There's, like, 3 guitarist players in the band. Tommy Henriksen, Ryan Roxy, and Nina Strauss. Chuck Garrick on bass, who could sing also. And Glenn Sobel on drums, who's... Let me tell you a little bit about Glenn Sobel. So, Motley Crue had Alice Cooper on their bill for the final tour. Tommy Lee got hurt, and they needed a fill-in drummer like that day. Glenn Sobel, being the pro that he is, learned the set and filled in for like 3 days, and it was like awesome. He pulled it off. Total pro. Just going forward for like bands, if you're going to put Alice Cooper as your opener, you better fucking bring it. Because, like, I knew when, like, I'm a diehard Crue fan, so this is even, like, you know, I'm not talking about that show from Saturday. I'm talking about back then. I saw them 5 times on that final tour, even though they're still touring. Final means nothing anymore. But when they announced that they were having Alice Cooper open up, part of my eye twitched because I'm like, holy shit, my favorite band is going to get upstaged on their final tour every night. And I hate to say it, and I love Motley Crue, and I never bash them, but Alice Cooper was absolutely phenomenal on that tour, and just like that, like, he brought it every single night, and the Crue had their work cut out for him, as did Rob Zombie this night. So I am a big fan of Rob Zombie. I've always been. I feel like this one was dialed in, though. He lost John Five, which is his guitarist. John Five is playing for Motley Crue right now, and I feel like he's feeling the effects of that still right now because he still has great players that he, you know, on tour with him. You know, Miggs plays guitar, but the level that John Five brought Rob Zombie's music to was a whole nother level. And like, I don't know. It's like, I guess, taking Eddie Van Halen out of Van Halen, you know, that's how great John Five is. I feel I could put him up there with like some of the ultimate guitar players. And, you can't replace a guy like that. And, it wasn't tough to watch because Rob Zombie's still entertaining. And being the fact, of course, Alice Cooper opened up, it was a great time. Is a picture of me and Zozo. She actually did our makeup, and we went to go see Alice Cooper last year, and she was saying it, Daddy, I know you got shaky hands, so I'm going to take over the makeup for tonight. And the kid did a phenomenal job, as you could see. I love having these experiences with her. It takes me back into a time when I was a youngster and my parents took me to go see shows, and I hope these are memories that she'll cherish because it's something I am cherishing right now, that I get to share the things that I love with my kid and not force it upon her. And she knows the songs, you know, and she's a fan, you know. Like, I took her to the merch table, and she picked out her own shirt, and she was pissed because they didn't play one of her songs that she wanted to hear, which was The Man Behind the Mask from Friday the 13th Part 6, which I thought was cool. And that was like a grown-up talk that I had with her. I was like, listen, you know, baby, like, sometimes there's so many songs that they can't get to. And, you know, unfortunately, Man Behind the Mask was one of them on that night. So, yeah, it was a great night. The band actually was in tow. We all went together, so we all hung out, and fun time it was had. So moving on. On Tuesday, I went to the city. I was originally going into to a book signing to meet Matthew McConaughey, but before I got there, I went to the corner of Rivington and Ludlow because the day before, 2 days before, on Sunday, they dedicated the street to the Beastie Boys. They actually have it entitled now Beastie Boys Square. And it's the corner where Paul's Boutique was shot. So It's just no, that's an iconic album. I love that it's immortalized, and Paul's Boutique is not there anymore. It's a wrap shop, but if you look at the picture, it's identical from what it used to look like. I mean, the structure is still there. The building is still there. It took me forever to get there, though. Like, I left pretty early. The book signing didn't start until 6:30, and I took a 4 o'clock train, and it took me 2 hours to get there because I guess like all the traffic from like 9/11 and the UN assembly was in. Shout out to my pops working at the UN. It made me laugh because he always would take off like 2 weeks in the beginning of the year, and he'd be like, I don't want to deal with that fucking traffic. And I didn't know what the hell he was talking about. I just figured it was regular city traffic, but it's not. It's like when all the the big boys are going to the UN and they're doing their thing, and he always said like the city's like gridlocked, and it was like a fucking nightmare, and he just didn't want to deal with it. And it was true because I took the subway to I took the A to 4th Street, and then I was supposed to take the F to Delancey, and I couldn't get the F. So F the subway because it always said like next, it's coming in 15 minutes. Then it would get down to 4 minutes, and they'd get back up to like 18 minutes. And it did this 3 times to me. So I'm like, fuck it. I'm just going to take the subway as close as I can get. And I was to Spring Street, and I figured it was like a mile, like a little less than a mile. It was a mile and a half, but I walked it, and I walked to the Beastie Boys. And then from there, I went to go meet Matthew McConaughey. And Matthew McConaughey is one of the coolest celebrity meet and greets that I ever met. Very cool. As you can see in the picture, we're laughing. And the reason we're laughing is because I walked in, we fist bumped, and I threw the line at him from The Wolf of Wall Street. And I said, yo, man, I'm working on my numbers. I'm pumping them up. And he goes, you got to work on them rookie numbers. And he was laughing, and I was laughing. I'm actually laughing with teeth in that picture. Usually I don't do that. I just do my devil grin. But this is one of those random shots where I am. And if you noticed, I am giving a shout out to the jerk off move because I have my hand, cupped that like that. So, yeah, awesome. Thank you, Matthew McConaughey, for being cool. And that's a good segue to get into this. These are the celebrities that are not cool that I've met throughout the years. I made a list of 5. Now, I've been going to conventions for over 30 years, and sometimes you meet people that are just plain shit. Shitties. And these are on my list. And the top of that list is going to be Linda Blair. Linda Blair happens... I feel like the devil is still in this woman. Like, she never got exercised back in the 70s. What a fucking bitch. And like, it's just terrible. Like, first of all, I was so excited to meet her because I hold The Exorcist up as like a high regard like movie. She decides to roll in like 2.5 hours late. I was like first in line. I was like, I wanted to meet her, and I didn't want to get off the line because I figured like after that it was downhill for me. The people that I wanted to meet weren't like the draw that she had. She finally comes in, and she cared more about the pit bulls, saving the pit bulls, than interacting with fans. Now, I know that's a good cause. I understand that. I'm not about animal cruelty. I'm not a piece of shit. But, like, come on. Leave a flyer on your table and be like, at the end of the, transaction or whatever we're doing, like our moment, maybe say, hey, this is a thing that I care about. Maybe, like, plug it that way. She was like right off the bat, well, did you hear about me saving the pit bulls? And this is me with Max and whatever. And she's showing me pictures. And I'm like, the fuck, dude? I don't want to talk about your pit bulls. I want to talk about fucking spitting, pea soup and like stabbing your pussy with a crucifix. Like that's what I want to talk about. Not really, but you know what I mean. I had a vinyl. I had the soundtrack to The Exorcist in hand. And like, I had it, and I wanted that signed because I thought it looked cool. So I put it on the table. She looks at it, And she's like, wow, I haven't seen one of these in so long. And I'm like, now this is a long time ago. And I'm like, wow, like maybe this, she's like, this is cool. And I was like, yeah, hopefully one day there'll be a vinyl resurgence. Not knowing that there was going to be a vinyl resurgence, but not on Linda Blair's watch, because she just looked at me with this like face. And she's like, don't hold your breath, honey. And like was so fucking rude. And like I said, getting back to it, the new Exorcist movie's coming out. It's like a resurgence of the film. And I believe she's actually making an appearance, which is good because there's probably not going to be that much acting in it because, yeah, she definitely still has Satan in her body. So I'm going to have 5 fuck yous tonight. So that one is for you right now, Linda Blair. Fuck you. Next one is David Hess from Last House on the Left. Now, this guy, he played a dick on screen and he was a dick in person. And this is another long time ago. I went to the Fangoria Weekend of Horrors at the Jacob Javits Center, and there was a kid in front of me. Kid at this time, this is about 15 years ago, so I'm 40. I'm going to be 46, so I was probably about 30, 31. This kid was about 15 years old, and there's in the picture he went down the line. It was Junior, Weasel, and Krug, left to right in this picture. So the kid had the 2 guys from left to right sign it, and he got to Krug. So now Krug, I'm calling him Krug, but it's David Hess, says to him before he signs it, it's $20. And the kid gives him the $20. No, he says to him, he's like, oh, I gave him the $20. And he goes, no. It's $20 for all of us. I'm 20, he's 20, and that guy's 20. And the kid's like, oh, I don't have it. So Junior, the first guy, was like, Dave, don't worry about it, man. It's a kid, just let him have it. And this fucking guy just takes the picture and he's like, not on my watch, rips it and throws it behind him. I'm like, what the fuck is going on? Like, the kid just, like, looks down, is probably mortified, and walks away. And, like, he's still not letting it go. The kid's walking away, and they're, like, getting at him. And, like, dude, what the fuck is wrong with you? And he's like, nah, what's right is right. And then he looks at me, and he goes, you know the drill, right? And I'm just like, dude, just sign my fucking poster so I don't punch you in the face. Because, like, I really should have just walked away at that point, but I had already like gone through the first 2, and I love Last House on the Left, and I did want to get it signed, but yeah, fuck you, David Hess. So that's my second fuck you of the night. That's terrible. The next one, I'm not going to say fuck you to Chaz Palmentieri because I do like Chaz Palmentieri. I want to say fuck you to his handlers because, oh my God, like I feared for my life. Like, I felt like I was walking into the Shea Bippy and I was like one of the bikers, but not fucking throwing alcohol over the place and actually being like a law-abiding citizen and a nice guy. Like, I just asked a simple question and I felt like shit, man. I thought I was going to get like fucking stabbed 16 times and like shot in the back of the head and like dragged out of the fucking place. The guy is like looking at me, his guy, and I'm like, so how much is it? And he's like, $70. And I'm like, so it's a $70 combo? And he's like, no, it's $70 for his autograph and $70 for his picture. So I'm like, oh, okay. Well, I wasn't planning on dropping almost $200 on Chaz Palmentieri, so I'm just going to get the picture with him. He was kind of standoffish, wasn't super friendly. I asked him to do the Sunny thing with the 3 fingers. He didn't want to do it. He said he's superstitious. Maybe he just doesn't feel like doing the fucking thing all day because I'm sure everybody's asking him. And I know these people are human too. So, like I said, I'm not going to say fuck you to Chaz Palmentieri, but maybe get a better outfit that's with you, that represents you, because it makes people feel very uncomfortable. And like, I don't know. I don't really feel uncomfortable like in those situations because I'm such like, a seasoned vet at these things. But like, this is recently. And I don't know. It was weird. It was just a weird transaction. So we'll leave it at that with Chaz Palminteri. My next guy now is Leatherface from the 2003 and 2006 Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Andrew Benarski. Now, the dude is at Monster Mania. Right off the bat, I'm going to tell you that he's blacklisted from this event. He will never be back at another event for them. He was visibly drunk for the time that he was there. He was actually asked to leave before the weekend was over. He constantly disappeared from his table, but every time that he reappeared at his table, his price just increased. He price gouged. And he kept on he started off, I think, at like $25. And by the time they asked him to leave, he was up to $70. And dude, give me a fucking break. This is a remake. A remake that's far less superior than the original film. I would definitely give Gunnar Hansen $75 for an autograph, but not your tired ass, dude. I don't know. People say he's cool or whatever, but I'm not buying it, so fuck you, Andrew Benarski. I'm not into you. I'm not hating on your movies, but I'm hating on your price and how you treated us fans that day, and I am the voice of the people, so I'll say it. I don't give a shit. I'm sorry if I'm coming off as hardcore tonight or whatever and trying to pick fights with people, but I'm just standing up for the people that wouldn't have a podcast or wouldn't say it, or maybe they wanted to, but, they don't have a platform to do it on. So my last one is Gary Busey. Now, Gary Busey, in his defense, he does have permanent brain damage. It's very visible, too. I saw him twice, 12 years apart. Obviously, the second time, he was definitely a little bit more not with it. And the first time he looked off, but he didn't misbehave like he did at the second time, and I'll get into that for the second part of this story. But he did make a memorable appearance at a Monster Mania VIP party. So these are one of the first Monster Mania VIP parties that they had. Usually what they do is it's like a cake cutting ceremony. It's open to all the guests, and it's open up to the VIP people that buy tickets. So the party's already in full swing. People are just having, cake, ice cream, or whatever. I even think it's one of the first ones where they didn't even bring in the alcohol thing yet. It was in the old room, in the old ballroom. So all of a sudden, Gary Busey walks through the door. He's got no shoes on. He's got a robe on. His fucking hair looks all disheveled and everything. And he just doesn't interact with anybody, but he walks straight up to the ice cream table, and he proceeds to make the biggest sundae that I've ever seen. Guys, I know a good sundae when I see it. I've made them before. Real good ones. This guy just putting gummy worms on it and shit, and M&Ms, and just falling off of the place, and just makes it and doesn't say anything and just walks out, and everyone's fucking what the fuck just happened? Gary Busey just made a I don't even know, a Jim Dandy to the 10th power and walked out. And it was, we still laugh about it, but that's not the reason why my fuck you is coming to Gary Busey. It's the second one. This picture right here is with my friends. He didn't grope us, but rumor has it, and I don't know if charges are still sticking with him. I didn't investigate this up until the point where I did make this show tonight, but I heard, and he actually was asked to leave, and there was also a news thing that I don't know if there was a warrant or a bench warrant out for his arrest, but Gary Busey got very touchy with some young girls at the show, and I feel like he was grabbing their ass, and I think he actually grabbed one of them all the way up the back, and just Another girl said he was very touchy. Most of the females were saying it like, during the photo op this was going on. I think he groped a couple of girls, and that's not cool, man. And some of them were very young. So he's also blacklisted. I don't think he's going to be coming back to Monster Mania. Like I said, the dude has brain damage. The last time he did have his son with him, and like his son is his handler, I feel like he kind of like reels him in. He didn't have anyone with him this time, and I don't think they were prepared for the wrath of Gary Busey. But he just groped and went about his business. They asked him to leave, and then, like I said, I don't know if he was ever arrested. But those are the 5 encounters at Monster Mania that were bizarre, weird, and totally fucked. And those are them. So I am going to switch hats right now and get into some fun true crime stuff as being the armchair detective that I am. There's a lot of shit going on, and might as well kick this off with the king that's still relevant in the serial killer world, even though he didn't kill anyone, and that is Charles Manson. Yesterday, the front door of Sharon Tate and Roman Polanski's home went up for auction, and it sold for $127,000. $127,000. Originally, it was estimated at first between $2,000 and $4,000. I had said this to my friends. I'm going to go on record right now by saying it. I would have paid $10,000 for it. Where I would put it, I don't know. It definitely doesn't look like it would fit on my house. But you never know. Maybe I'll get that dream home on Ocean Avenue, and how sick would that be? Have the Amityville Horror House with the fucking front door of 10050 Cielo Drive. This is the front door that they scrawled pig on the bottom in blood. It's also the front door of where later on, after all that, Trent Reznor lived there, and he recorded the Downward Spiral. And the history behind it now is when Trent Reznor moved from Cielo Drive to New Orleans, he brought the door with him. Then Katrina hit, and he never went back. He evacuated and never went back. And I guess he sold his studio, and he left the door. So they started like remodeling, and they threw it away. I guess someone knew that the door was of some kind of value or whatever, and held on to it until now, and he put it up for auction. But $127,000. That's pretty insane. But also I'm insane because I would have paid $10,000 for it. So I guess if I had that type of fuck money to drop $127,000, the guy would be well off. So good for him. Enjoy your front door, man. I don't get jealous. Maybe I am a little jealous, but I don't know. I don't think I'm that crazy. All right, so moving right along, we're going to get into our friend, former Suffolk Police Chief James Burke, was back in the news. He entered a not guilty plea Monday afternoon to the public lewdness and indecent exposure charge. Neither Burke nor his attorney offered comment while leaving the court. Burke had been initially charged with soliciting a male prostitute and offering a sex act. In addition to those the public lewdness and the indecent exposure, but the two charges of the male prostitute and offering the sex act, they were dropped. Allegedly, like the pants of the male sex worker that he was going to fillet. Like, I just don't get it. It's a head scratcher. Why does this guy continually get away with shit? Like, I don't understand it. They let him go on his own recognizances, and they still have no explanation why those charges are dropped. And he's due back in court in October. like I said before, I'm going to say it again. There's no way that this is just by coincidence that James Burke was arrested for this. Eyes are on him. Maybe they're trying to pin it. I was talking to my cousin today, and we were saying that if this turns out where he is connected to this whole Gilgo case, it's going to be one of the biggest cases of ever. It already is. But what a story. Just the corruption and the cover-up and everything. And, like, it's just mind-boggling that Burke can just continue to walk out on his own and just be continually not fucking care and do what he wants. So hopefully that comes to an end eventually. But there has been an update also on the suspect of Rex Heuermann. Right now, Rex, he's being investigated for the 1989 murder of Carmen Vargas. She was a sex worker whose body was found close to his house in Freeport on the Meadowbrook Parkway. It was found bound and beaten about 30 feet on the side of the road, and it would remain unidentified for years before a match was made through dental records. She was last seen by a mystery man who picked her up outside her family's East Harlem apartment, and according to her niece, who was just 12 at the time, she got into a dark car, and she could tell it was a white man with glasses. So I guess Rex back in the day was a white man, and he had glasses, and I think his car was kind of dark, that Avalanche. This is back in 1889, though, so I don't think he was driving the Avalanche at that time, and I'm not sure what he was driving back then. But, yeah, that's just another possible case that is tied to him. And the last part of the true crime segment tonight, his wife, Elsa Ellerop, she's back in the news because she, right now, is requesting that they return the guns that they confiscated from the house. They confiscated over 300 firearms from his house. I don't know if they were all legally licensed. She probably wants to sell them or shoot a lot of fucking people. I don't know. God knows what her state of mind is right now. I do feel bad for them. I did make my return the other night to the house. In the middle of the night, it was like 10 o'clock at night. I just drove by, and the house is still in shambles. You know, there's boxes out all over the place, and how they're getting on with their lives is beyond me. You know, it's sad, you know, because they are victims. Their life was turned upside down. She's sick from what I hear. I feel like maybe they should just compensate her right now just to get by, but I don't know. I don't know what the outcome for her is. I know she'll probably get money down the road, but I don't think she should be held accountable for the crimes that her husband possibly committed, you know? I'm just sympathizing with her and hope that good things happen for them. I know that the house, they want to knock it down and get rid of it, but she wants to still continue to living it, even though she's saying that the living conditions of the house right now are it's impossible. They ripped all the pipes and stuff and like they cut like the bathroom up and like things are leaking all over the place, but you don't even know if those problems were in there before all this stuff went down. So who knows? She definitely, I think she has a lawsuit in the works. You know, she's lawyered up, so I'm sure they'll just give her some hush money to make her comfortable, but that could take a while. So we'll see what happens. All right, I'm gonna move on to the featured artist of the night. To toot my horn once again, it is DemonScar, and the reason that I'm doing this is we don't do this very often. We actually made a music video. Now, we didn't make it. We're just starring in it. The person that's responsible for making it is Coffee Edge Media's Jasmine. Jasmine came with us to Milwaukee, and this is our adventures throughout the weekend. There's some true crime spots in there. There's some us hanging out at the show, us playing. There's an appearance by Jasmine in it. There's some cool metal gods in there that we took pictures and stuff with. Some fan interaction. The Scargret she's in it. And this is the first official video for DemonScar. It's called The Coldest Hell, and I'm going to play that for you right now.
Coldest hell. The episodes smell of death, and no one listens. No one cares. Hands clean, blind ignorance. Then one got away. Judgment's dawning. I won't let them in. Our time is over. Now my time begins. Judgment's dawning. I won't let them in. Our time is over. Now my time begins. Recognize remorse for unspeakable acts. For what I sowed, the hand of God strikes me down. It's all I wanted, nothing, forevermore. 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 Judgment's dawning, I won't let them in. Our time is over, now my time begins. Judgment's dawning, I won't let them in. Our time is over, now my time begins. Judgment's dawning, I won't let them in. Our time is over, now my time begins. Trapped down by the hands of God, our time is now, our time is now. Trapped down by the hands of God, our time is now, our time is now. Trapped down by the hands of God, our time is now, our time is now.
All right, that was The Coldest Hell. I think Jasmine did a phenomenal job on that video. It definitely captures the fun that we have. It also shows that we kick ass up there. I want to give a shout out to Meds, my guitarist. he looks awesome in the video. I think, like, for the quiet guy, he's up there. He's intense when he's up there, and I love how the video encapsulates that. And it's great, you know. It's always a fun time, like I said, hanging out with them. That's what band is all about, I feel like. You need to find 2 or 3 guys that you're able to spend lengths of time with, that you, and at the end of the day you don't want to rip their head like face off or whatever, you know. And you know, Jared and Meds, two of my best friends, you know, they're great guys to be around. And I'm liking what we're doing. We're actually going to be in a new horror movie coming up soon, Sweet Meats, that just got picked up by Trauma, which is awesome. We're playing Jason's Woods in October. That's October 6th. And in January, we're playing with our good friend Ari Lehman, who he's the first Jason. And Friday the 13th, he has a band. It's called First Jason. We're playing for first time in at the Mercury Lounge in the city. So that's going to be a fun time. So, yeah, check us out, DemonScar. You know, we're always plugging. I'm always plugging away with that. And check us out on Twitter, Instagram, all that good stuff. Last night, I went to the movies. Tony just mentioned it to me, too. Dude, are you ever home? And it's like, no, I'm fucking not. I'm, like, always out doing stuff and always on the run, but I wouldn't have it any other way. Anyway, so last night they had a Fathom event. It was the last night to see it, and it was John Carpenter's Christine. I love this film. Like, it's so good. Like, just the soundtrack is awesome. The characters in the movie are, like, great. Like Keith Gordon playing the lead. You see like a transformation from like a nerd, a geek, and then you see him become like a badass, and it's, you know, because he's under the possession of this evil car, which is the 58 Plymouth Fury. I've always wanted one of those. And I never put this connection into it, and I guess it's just little things. Growing up, my old man, my dad, he used to tell me, you know, one day you're going to look back and you're going to realize all the stuff that, you know, we did and all that, this, you know, together, and I hope you look back at it and it's like a, when, you know, when he's not here, and it's a good memory. And, you know, last night during the movie, the first time that Arnie sees the car, it reminded me of the first time my dad saw his 1929 Model A Ford. We were driving to Connecticut to a car show, and he passed this big field and he saw this car. It was a truck sitting there, and it just looked like that somebody just left it there and forgot about it and neglected it, and it just looked like it still had some good bones to it, and it just needed some love. And just like Arnie in the movie, I mean, he didn't get behind the wheel of the 29 Ford and run over people and stuff, and, like, you know, it wasn't like hell on wheels, you know. It was a 1929 Ford with like an Uga horn, you know. But my dad rebuilt that car, and I thought of him last night seeing that, you know, and it was a good memory. It was cool, and I'm blessed to have those types of memories. And I always, you know, I remember seeing Christine for the first time with him and my brother, and that was one of the movies that we bonded with, all, you know, growing up, when I was growing up. And it's, I guess, I don't know if it's a sick movie to bond over or whatever, but that car is like a badass car, you know. It's awesome. I think that John Carpenter, like, totally tells a great story with it. I think they used like 7 or 8 Plymouth Furies because, you know, they have to like beat the shit out of one and then bring back a new one. They set one on fire. You know, they crushed one to like no end. They had like another one that gets like torn up from one of the it's like a forklift, And yeah, like they had like the Fathom trivia before the movie, and I think they said 15% of the budget went into having these cars. Maybe one day, you never know. I get one of those. I think it'd be cool. But yeah, I had a great time watching that movie and reminiscing. And those of you who have not seen it, in my opinion, I feel that aside from John Carpenter's best movie, which is Halloween, and I think this is up there. It could be as very well as his second best movie they ever made, other than The Thing. But yeah, like I said, it's a great soundtrack, and it's a great revenge movie. Because Arnie in the beginning of the movie, he's getting bullied by these assholes, and they all meet their demise in a fucked up way with this car, and yeah, it's awesome. So definitely check it out if you haven't seen it, or even revisit it, because it just turned 40. It's amazing. Like, I look back at that, 40 fucking years old. Like, I'm going to be 46 in December, so again, this is a movie that I probably saw way before I should have, but Zoe's already seen it. She's 8, so I guess I'm doing the same shit that they did to me back in the day. So I think I turned out pretty okay, though. It's all good. All right. So we have a couple of plugs that I'd like to do. It is the Cloud 8 Delta 8. They are a big sponsor of the Primal Scream podcast. Go to their website, cloud8delta8.com. Look into their product. They sell vapes, and they sell all different types of gummies, and this is also used for medicinal purposes. You could use Primal Scream 10 as your code. You get 10% off. And one of my contacts, Lloyd, just informed me that they also have a blog now just to keep you up to date as the challenges that being a vape company and dealing with regulation, because that still goes on even though it is legal. The government always wants their piece, so they chronicleize it. I don't even know the fucking word that I want to use right now. They put it in the blog so you could see what they deal with each day. So check that out. Mr. Beery's is having a great event coming up. It's October 21st. It's called HorrorCon. This is the art that's going to go on. It's someone, I wish I knew the name. Julia sent this to me. It was one of her friends. They made Steve Beery as the Pumpkin King, and it's great. She's going to put it on posters, and that's going to be on October 21st at 3 p.m. Is going to be live music later on in the day. During the day, they're going to have a screening of film. We do have talent coming to the show. I don't know if the contracts are unlocked, but if they are, I will announce it at a future date. Right now, one of my friends had signed on to do this event. Christina, she has a company called eatcornicello.com. So you got to check out her food. It's phenomenal. It's old school Italian classic style food. It actually, like, what she's going for is she wants to emulate what she grew up to with the dishes that her grandmother would serve. It's like back to basics, and it's cooking with a modern twist. If you check out her site, there's the most recommended are the sausage and peppers and the arancini, which is a Sicilian-style rice ball that has beef and vegetables with ragu and made with fresh mozzarella. She's signed on for as a vendor, so there's going to be great eats at this event. So definitely check out her site. It's www.eatcornicell.com. If you can see it in that picture right there, that's her logo for her business. And yeah, it's going to be awesome. I can't wait for this event. I'm really looking forward to it. And hopefully this is the start of more future events at Mr. Beery's. Again, I'm not only because of my sponsor, that I feel like Mr. Beery's is a very important establishment for here to have unique events like this, continue to push live original music, and I just thank Steve all the time when I see him for giving me a shot and giving me a home as well to play my style of music. With that being said, we're going to put this baby to bed right now. Primal Scream, Episode 5. Oh, there is a special announcement right now. Thanks, Tony. I almost forgot. How can I forget this guy? I'm actually, next week, I'm going to have my very first guest on this podcast. It's none other than my best friend, Anthony DiDomenico, of the Keep Moving Forward podcast. He's going to be on next week, and all bets are off. We're just going to turn the mics on and let loose, talk our stuff that we've been talking about for nearly 30 years of our friendship. It's going to be a blast. I hope you guys tune into it, because I can't wait for it. And again, guys, thank you for letting me invade your ear holes for the last hour. I'm shot. I have to go to Connecticut tomorrow. I'm playing a great show with my man, Kay Lovely. We're opening up for Shaggy 2 Dope at the Webster Theater in Hartford, Connecticut. Tickets are still available. Come and see us. It's our first official gig together, and we're gonna rip shit. So, that being said, guys, thank you. Hope everyone has a great week, and I will see you next week. Later.